guys, and welcome back to another video. This is a late October reading wrap up. So the first book I read was The Bronze Bow by Elizabeth George Spear, and this was technically for school, but I finished it this month and I ended up really liking it, like 5 stars. It was so good and so cute, and I was surprised by how much I liked it, even though this technically was a reread, because I had read it on my own before I had to read it for school or anything like that. The Underwild by Shauna Targaz. I'm not really sure how to pronounce her name, but this book is basically about a girl who works in the underworld as a farrier of souls. So once the person dies, she then takes them to like where their soul will live for the rest of time or whatever. And pretty much a soul ends up coming down to try to get her brothers back that died, and humans aren't supposed to be in there or on the River of Souls, but the girl falls in and is swept away, and now our main character, Sinka, she ends up having to find that girl and try to bring her back to the mortal world. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and I have never read a Brandon Sanderson book before this month, and I absolutely loved this. It was a little bit slow at first, but when I was reading it, I was enjoying myself so much. And this book is basically about a girl who, when she was young, her father ended up deserting, and so his ship got shot down. It's like on this alien world, I guess. They were like fighting the other aliens that are trying to like come and kill them all. Her father ended up deserting, so now she's had to like live under the stain of his name this whole time, and she is trying to get into flight school, and she is trying to become a pilot because she yearns for the stars, I guess. And then weird stuff starts happening with her, which is close to what was described to have happened to her father before he deserts. And so that was really good. I think this was either 4 or 5 stars. Once again, all my ratings will be on the screen if I do not say what the ratings are. And I loved this, honestly. And also the cover is so pretty. The Ballad of Never After. And I actually got this from my library, so that's why it's so shiny. But this is book 2 in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is a spin-off series of the Caraval series. And this series follows Evangeline Fox, who goes to the Magnificent North, ends up making a deal with the Prince of Hearts, Jax. And a bunch of stuff happens from that, and it's a whole trilogy. The next book I read was the last book in the Lunar Chronicles series. This was also from my library that I got. And the Lunar Chronicles is basically sci-fi / fantasy retellings of all of the classic fairy tales. So this one was a retelling of Snow White. And so each book follows a different character along with the characters from the other books, and they were so good. Loved it. I loved that entire series. That one was a 5-star, I believe. This next book is the last book in a series. This is the last book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. This is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, and this was just the conclusion to the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which I've already talked about in this video. And I also absolutely love this one. I probably like this one more than the middle one because of that ending. I read One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus, and let me just say, this was so hyped up for me. I was so excited. I even buddy read this with Charlotte, who I've also done a collab with before, and we both DNF'd it. It just had some stuff we did not enjoy in it, and we both ended up DNFing it because I read ahead and I'm like, hey, this is in it, should we DNF? And we decided to DNF, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this book a 2-star. I did really like the mystery aspect, but there wasn't really much else I liked, and there was just too much of everything else. The next book I then read was Fairest by Marissa Mayer, and this is a 250-page novella to the Lunar Chronicles series, and this is basically about the villain of the story, I guess. So that's basically all I'm gonna say, to not spoil anything, but that was basically the villain's backstory, and I believe I rated that a 3.5. I don't know. Once again, all of the ratings will be on screen. Now, the next book I read is The 100. I actually found this at a yard sale for only like $1 or $2, and I was so excited for this. I had originally started this book before and then DNF'd it just because I was reading it on my Kindle, and I just really wanted to read it in book form, and I hadn't found it in book form anywhere, even at my library, but I finally did. So So I picked it up and I finished it, and I really liked it. I think I gave it a 3.5 or 4-star. And apparently there's like a whole TV show about it, but of what I've seen, the book looks way better. Like, the book was really good, and the show doesn't look nearly as good as the book. What The 100 was about was basically this, pretty much everyone had to escape Earth after like a big nuclear thing happened. 100 kids under 18 were all sent to Earth years later because they're running out of like materials and stuff like that. And so they sent them to see if it's safe, and a bunch of weird stuff is happening down there, and you're basically following all of those people. And then the last book I read this month, I'm probably going through these like really fast, but the last book that I read this month was actually a book I won in a Goodreads giveaway, and that is The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chokshi. And The Swan's Daughter was basically about a girl who is a veritas swan, which pretty much means if you fall in love, like a ribbon with a key will appear on like your true love's neck, and then it's like a necklace, and then they can like control you, and they control if you can turn into a swan or not. It was kind of a weird concept, but it very much gave me a mix of The Cruel Prince and the Selection vibes, with trials, trying to win the prince's hand and all that. And we all love a good trial, and the Selection are like, they're amazing. So of course I loved this. Well, that's all the books that I read this month, and I had so much fun reading this month. I actually read like, I think like 9 or 10 books, so that was really fun. And I can't wait to see how many books I read this next month, and I can't believe we only have 2 months left in the year. That is insane. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.